Welcome. I'm Dr. Katherine Hall Newburgh, the founder of Books of Eden Publishing and author of the book The New Eden Paradise Retold. And I am here to welcome you to the profound and exciting healing journey that you are about to embark on. So this is the introductory video for the series of 8 shamanic journeys that come from my book, The New Eden Paradise Retold. And I wanted to create this introductory video to give you a little bit of information on what to expect and how to prepare. I suggest you just listen to it once and then jump in. So the first thing I want to do is give you the framework of the shamanic journeys. So they consist of the first journey is for healing and protection, to create a sacred container for receiving the teachings and the healings of the following 7. And then the rest of them consist of one healing journey for each of 7 traits. And you'll discover the traits as you go. But I want to give some quick background on these traits. In December of 2018, I experienced a profound and irreversible spiritual awakening. It happened literally overnight. And one day to the next, suddenly my life had stopped making sense. And the person I was unfamiliar to me, and the ambitions I had harbored and all of these things just didn't fit anymore. And I went on what felt like a long journey to stabilize this new state of being that I had begun experiencing. And over the course of 3.5 years, I sought out lots of different healing modalities to help me make sense of what had happened and to, like I said, to stabilize it. And I have a background in education and curriculum, so I naturally, in looking back, began to establish a framework around what had happened. And what in contemplation, what I kind of discovered was that I had developed these 7 traits. And in developing these 7 traits, I was able to stabilize and live within this new level of consciousness inside of a world that was not there at that place. And so my offering in these shamanic journeys is what you'll see, and what I keep saying over and over again, is that none of these traits are thought forms. So there is an experience of this consciousness, which I call the New Eden, which is a state of pure thriving. And there's an experience of these traits, of the frequency of these traits, that allows you to embody them, that allows you to feel what they are. They cannot be thought about, and they cannot be accessed through the rational linear mind. And so the point, or the purpose of these shamanic journeys, is to help usher the frequencies of these traits straight into your body, so that they are then awakened within your body and within your cells, and that you can embody or be the frequency of these traits. So that's the background on where they came from and the structure that you're about to step into. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is the lineage of these shamanic journeys, because they're going to be different perhaps from what you've experienced. They're from a very specific combination of 2 feminine healing modalities that are very ancient and very mystical. One of them is reversing, and you may have heard of reversing through the Blue School. Practitioners of reversing are Claudette Melchizedek and Gerald Epstein. And the lineage of reversing allows you to essentially go back in time, right? It sees time as it sees time as vertical instead of linear. So it offers the instantaneous healing in the moment, right? And it does it through archetypal images. And the same is true for the second lineage of these shamanic journeys, which is heart imagery. And essentially with heart imagery, you access your subconscious through the sacred space of the heart, and allow the images and the archetypes of the heart to move you into alignment with your higher self. So these shamanic journeys come from a combination of these two very, very specific and powerful and potent lineages. So I want you to know that before moving in. And the other thing about them is that they, like I said, they exist outside of linear time. So as you step into them, you're stepping out of time, and rapid and even instantaneous healing and alignment is possible. Right? So in the third point we're going to talk about setting big intentions for this journey. Before I move on to the third point, I want to offer as well that you will be hearing 3 other modalities. One is I use this, or I should say I work with this crystal bowl. And this is a quartz crystal bowl. All crystals come from the crystal source, which is the purest vibration in existence. And so when you hear the tones of this crystal bowl, you are accessing the purest frequencies of creation. And you are in a space then, aligned in a space where of purity and emptiness, where you can create anything, from which you can create anything at all. So it's very powerful for releasing and for healing. So there's this crystal bowl. There's a powerful being who has joined us for this journey. Says hello. And you will also be hearing light language and heart toning. Light language is a powerful soul language. It's a transmission. You don't have to know what it means. You just allow it to do its work within you. Sometimes what you're going to experience is something very deep. You might not understand or know what's happening, and that's okay. You can trust that something's happening, that some part of your body has received the transmission, and that it will move itself upwards in time into your waking consciousness. So light language does that. Heart toning as well, which you'll hear me singing essentially, that's also a transmission that comes in and works through my voice. So none of it's pre-planned. It just comes through in the moment. And even if you don't like what you're hearing, you can trust it. You can trust it. So if it's like the tones, you don't like them, like there's a preference, what I suggest you do is tune into the frequency of them, because the frequency is what is being transmitted there. So I want you to know that. So you'll be experiencing all of that in these journeys. The last thing that I want to say before you jump in is that these are very powerful and very potent offerings that, in conjunction with your inner healer, can help you really create whatever life is divinely intended for you, and to really step into that level of consciousness that exists beyond the kind of the gravitational pull of what we see as the what I call kind of the brash and clamoring reality of the material world, which has a very powerful gravitational pull. And these shamanic journeys are designed to really bring you into that higher plane of existence, where you can stabilize yourself in a much more thriving and joyful state, even in the midst of this world and the seeming chaos of it. So we're going to be addressing all of that. So I invite you to set very big intentions, right, and allow them to play out in their own way as you embark. The journeys are, like I said, they're a type of curriculum. They emerged as a type of curriculum. So I also suggest that your first time through, you go in order and allow your higher self to dictate your pace, because they are very potent. So you may need time in between. Take whatever time you need, a day, up to a week, a month, whatever you need, just take it, and work with that one offering, that one teaching, that one journey until you're ready to move on to the next one, until it's fully integrated to the point where you can move on. People who have engaged with these journeys have experienced some profound, sometimes very uncomfortable emotional and physical releases. And so just know that if that's happening for you, if you're experiencing strange aches and pains, or if you're having some emotional releases coming up, just know that that's a good thing. It's temporary. And what's happening is that some deeply embedded patterns, physical, emotional, psychological, spiritual, all these things are now in a space where they can begin to come up, to be seen and released with compassion. And so there have been all sorts of physical, emotional, psychological experiences with this. Just know you're safe. Just know it's temporary. Just know it's a good thing. And really take care of yourself in this time. Allow yourself all of the gentleness and the love and the compassion that you deserve anyway, but really let yourself have it in this time. Surround yourself with places and people and environments that are really nurturing for you. I really suggest that. This can be a really, really special journey. And you won't want to miss a second of it. Let's see. If you would like to learn more about my work, my offerings, if you have ideas for, I'm very open to collaborations as well. If it's in alignment and it feels good and there's ideas that you have for that, you can find all sorts of information on my website, which is booksofeden.com. And that has more information on what I do and what I offer and what I'm committed to, which is essentially establishing the new Eden on Earth, which is a state of thriving for all beings on Earth. So if that sounds good to you and you'd like to join me in some way, please do reach out. I'm very open to that. Just thinking if there's anything else. Yeah, I'm just really excited that you have chosen this, that this has, if you're here, it's not an accident. You're ready for it. There's an alignment with these journeys and with your desire and readiness to step into a new level of ascension. And so it's very exciting that you're here, and it's such an honor to be moving into this journey with you. So please know that. Please know that. It's a huge honor for me to be here with you. So with that, I suggest we jump in.